Survivor's ready. Go!
Travis spoken.
This island is pretty much full of only two things: snakes and rats.
The fake dead grandmother could easily go down as the dirtiest thing ever to be done in this game.
I am the king, and I am back.
But I've got the $1 million check written already. I mean, I'm the winner.
The winner of the first Survivor competition is Rich.
Direct from Hobart, it's now time for the only dedicated radio show in Australia devoted to the hit TV show Survivor, bringing you the latest news and the biggest interviews from the king of reality television. It's Survivor Oz, and here's your host, Ben Waterworth.
Hello everybody, and welcome once again to Survivor Oz, Australia's #1 TV and film podcast, coming to you sort of live and direct, at least direct, whatever way you want to put it, for another Survivor San Juan Del Sur exit interview. We're about to speak to 5th place finisher Baylor Wilson, and usually at the start of these I come in and tell you to go to our website and read an episode preview, but the season's over with, so you don't have to do that. So you can still visit our website anyway. We would like you to at least do that. I'm going to shut up and bring in a person you actually want to hear. As I just mentioned, 5th place on Survivor San Juan Del Sur. Please welcome to Survivor Oz, Baylor Wilson. Baylor, welcome to Survivor Oz.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. It's a pleasure to have you here on the show, and I will say to you, first of all, congratulations on a great game. So, obviously, close to the end, and no doubt a whirlwind last 24 hours. How's it all been recovering from everything that happened last night?
Oh, my gosh. It's been crazy. I just had some yummy quesadillas with my family an hour ago, so that hit the spot, and then I fell asleep, so I got a little nap in.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's always important to get those moments of sleep, no doubt, when you have the opportunity. But, of course, last night we saw you go home in a very big blindside. Of course, no doubt, very, very shocking at the time. But, I mean, can you put it into words of just how shocking and disappointing it was to kind of go out in that way that you did?
Yeah, it definitely felt like a dream. A little bit. I really don't think it hit me until I was back at Ponderosa with the guys who were not welcoming whatsoever. It felt like a fraternity party was there and I was not invited, or like I fell into the wrong family vacation or something, just bad. But I guess like getting blindsided by Natalie was truly just a shock. I mean, I had no idea. That's why it's called Blindsided. And I really just, clapped for her on the way out in my head, kind of just was impressed that she could pull that off without me or my mom finding out or my mom did have a small feeling before we left and she told me, but I kind of shuttered her up, and just said, we're fine, Mom, let's go. And so it was interesting that, I could just feel really that comfortable at that point.
It's interesting, and I guess kind of you're saying there that, you sort of clapped Natalie, but I guess as well, it hurt a bit more, because, I mean, you and Natalie seemed to get very close towards the end of the game, so, I mean, to have her kind of turn on you like that, I could imagine doesn't really feel that good.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, it never feels good to be backstabbed, in any way. However, I don't know what it is about me, but I'm definitely a competitor, and so I see the best in other competitors, and I believe that the best team should win, and that was Natalie. She truly out-competed me, so I respected that.
So having said that, had your mum joined you next on the jury and you had to vote between Keith, Natalie and Jacqueline, would have you given Natalie your vote to win?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think she deserved it more than Keith and Jacqueline game strategy-wise, for sure.
I mean, to me, it seemed like you played a very strong game of survival. I mean, your name was always there, Baylor. It looked like you were going home every single week, and, we're predicting, is Baylor going home this week? I mean, how kind of a roller coaster ride was it from every 3 days, so to speak, for Tribal Council, given that Koyopa obviously had the very poor start, and to make it as far as you did, I mean, that must feel really like you've achieved something, considering how sort of, much of a target you were early on in the game.
Yeah, it was definitely a difficult tribal council experience for me in the beginning of the game, and throughout the whole thing. I mean, my name was written down the most out of everybody, and I was the most disliked, I think, behind the scenes with everybody's alliances and stuff. There was just so much talk of me and vote her out, and I never really understood why, except for the fact that I'm physically capable to win challenges, and I don't know what it was. They always have to pick someone to keep trying to get out, but I thought it was kind of a waste of their time. Mostly. I just thought they should move on and work with me.
Did you confront anybody? Well, I suppose not confront, but ask people outside of the game, kind of, what was it? Why was I a target, to try and kind of find out what it was about it that always wanted to get you out of there?
You know what? No, I should definitely ask people
Yes.
like John Rocker and Dale, because I still never understood. No, but I should ask them. That's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's kind of interesting, I feel, sort of doing these exit interviews that, I mean, it's sort of like, there didn't seem many people to speak too highly of you. And, I mean, we spoke on this show that kind of with a lot of Natalie's moves, you were there for the most part and seemed to be involved in a lot of them. So I'm not too sure if there, needs to be some more respect for Baylor Wilson. Come on, people.
Yeah, that's what I never really got. I felt like I was the young 20-year-old that just kind of was there, and they didn't ever see me as playing my own individual game. Which, I mean, it was just frustrating. I can't open their eyes for them. So that was difficult. But I definitely was involved in so many moves, and Natalie knows, and my mom knows that they needed me. Mostly every single tribal.
It's kind of interesting, I suppose, at the point that you went out, and we just spoke to your mum not too long ago about, plans of what might have happened had Jacqueline gone that night as possibly planned. But, I mean, do you feel as though that had the decision come that yourself or your mum, one of you had to sacrifice yourself for the other to go to the end, do you feel that you could have made a better push or a better tilt to win the game maybe than your mum, and you would have put that argument towards her if that decision had to come about?
That's a tough question, because I think my mom and I's games can't really line up fairly next to each other, only because I had such a different game than her throughout. I definitely think that I would have had a really good shot at trying to convince them, that I deserved it. I don't know if they would still, be thinking in the strategy mindset, because they're so fraternized in that Ponderosa environment, and we're very much about the popularity contest, but they were kind of headed, towards if Keith was in the Final Three, he's going to win, and so looking back, I don't know if they would have even heard me out. I'm sure they would have just told me to shut up or something, but I do think I could have tried, definitely argue that, hey, I've had my name written down the most since day one, even by my own alliance member at one point. So basically, you guys suck, and I'm here somehow. And I don't know how it happened, but I do know that I'm here, and that's what counts. So, which it may not like that route, but at the same time, Jeremy, I know, would have respected me in saying, in standing up for myself and owning. I know Val always says to own it, and I know that they're all about that. So you never know. Yeah,
never know how it would happen. One thing that I was intrigued about, going sort of back to when Alec was voted out, and now Natalie flipped that vote, so he went home. How did you explain that to your mum when you got back to tribal counselling? To camp, and kind of sort of say, "Well, Mum, this is what Natalie suggested to me," or did she know going into that was going to happen?
Oh, I knew going in. Natalie kind of mentioned it to me, and I didn't really care whether Alec or Keith went home that night, basically because they were both threats in different ways. Alec was under John's kind of wing, and we and Natalie were afraid that if he stuck around, that Alec could have convinced John to flip on me and my mom and Natalie at some point, and then Keith was obviously a big challenge to that. So I was just kind of holding that secret to myself, which is just another trusting thing that I did for Natalie and didn't tell my mom, because it wasn't my thing. And I just voted for who I was supposed to vote for and stuck to that.
Now, the final question I will ask you here, Baylor, I have to say that we have become a big fan of Sticky Situation on this show. I've played it on my other breakfast show here on Hobart. You've got a new legion of fans coming your way, of course, with this. What are all the plans going into the future now with your music? And, Sticky Situation, can we push it out there a little bit more and get it to number one somewhere?
Oh, my gosh. If my song went number one anywhere, I would literally come visit the place and play a live show somehow. I would raise money and get there because that would be amazing. I wrote that song about a year ago, and I did not expect for people to like it as much as they do. It's so interesting. Songwriters always say that the worst song to them is always sometimes the best song to other people. And it's all about just relating. And that song was I was kind of joking around, and I was like, let's write it, with some food analogies, and people relate to that. So, anyways, what's next for me is I will be headed back to Nashville here shortly after Christmas break, and I will be going back to school for another couple semesters. However, during that time, I'm going to be recording and writing more songs and possibly releasing a full-length album in the summer, and then maybe, touring a little bit around Texas and Colorado maybe, but I don't have much time because I have to finish school, so I have to stick around Nashville. But as soon as I'm done, I'm going to graduate, throw my cap off, and get in the car or tour bus or whatever I can afford, and go play some shows. I'm excited.
Beautiful. Well, we're going to be excited for it, Baylor. We appreciate your time here on Survivor Oz today, and we look forward to getting you back on the future. We'll have a bit more of a chat to you about your music as well as Survivor.
Yes, please do have me back. Nice to see you.
We hope to have her back too. A lot of fun there chatting to Baylor. We were very much, of course, rooting for her from the beginning and being a bit of a fan of hers throughout the season. And it's been a sticky situation getting her on the show. That was a very bad segue, Ben. Hang your head in shame. You have the ability to edit that out. You kept it in. How awkward. Now, I will say that people listening to this on the Friday, the day after the finale, if you're listening to these in order, we did advertise that we were going to be speaking to Keith today and Baylor next week. They did get switched on us at the last moment. So Baylor got spoken to today, clearly, and Keith will now happen next week. So if you're for any chance listening to this, wanted to get a question in for Keith, thought you missed out, you haven't missed out, Keith will be the final person that we do speak to from this season. That will be next Tuesday, Australian time. So just wanted to clear that up. If you're listening to these in chronological order from, say, 5th through to 1st, and the season's long gone, well, you don't really need to worry about it too much. But if you are listening to this on the Friday in order from 5th through to 1st, then you're about to hear from Baylor's mum, Missy, who I interviewed before Baylor. It's confusing how it works, and I'm just ruining the illusion of how it all happens. So just pretend I didn't, and just listen to them in whichever way you will. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, on Stitcher, on TuneIn Radio, or whatever service you use your podcasting abilities. And remember to please leave us feedback. We always appreciate hearing back from you. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. They're the easiest ways to stay up to date with everything that is happening with Survivor Oz, and of course SurvivorOz.com. That is where you can see everything, every piece of content ever created in the history of Survivor Oz is all on that website. Check it out. We love hearing from you as well via the comments section. However, this is the end of the Baylor exit interview. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will speak to you next time on The Trains.